Well, we're going on the road for the second week in a row, which is always presents a challenge. And then going to Rice, a team that this will be the third time we've played them in the 4 years we've been here. And they present some different looks offensively than we've seen that are really kind of they just see in college football a lot nowadays. So some option stuff. They run the ball, I believe, fourth most rushing attempts per game in the country, behind only the service academy. So they've made a real commitment to the scheme that their new coach brought in. There is some familiarity with what they do on defense. Their linebacker coach is now the coordinator, so he's seen us. That'll help them, and hopefully it'll help us a little bit, just knowing there's familiarity. But our guys went out today and they had good focus. They had a good practice. And that's the intent every day, is come out and get a little bit better every single day and then do it again the next day. And we've been able to do that, and we've got to keep doing it.
How'd you come out of the game physically, and how's
Good.
Cam doing?
Cam's fine. Yeah, he's fine. He's a tough dude. I mean, he's a running back. Running backs are going to, you're not going to get through the season feeling great. But I think that that bye week really helped him. We didn't run the ball a ton on Saturday. I'm not sure how many carries he had, but he's fine. He practiced really hard today. He looked, I'm not going to say he looked fresh, but he looked damn good.
Coach, there's a direct correlation between making explosive plays and winning games. And knowing how many explosive plays you guys have had this season, with also doing a great job of taking care of the ball, what about the way your offense is going right now that's allowed you to capitalize on those big plays and also not turn the ball over?
Well, I mean, it's just a constant point of emphasis for us, and it's we don't necessarily talk about the big plays. We talk about the ways that big plays occur, which is being precise in your execution, and then playing with great effort down the field. Going down and getting a block, the things that people don't necessarily see, the block that springs a guy free, and so that's our focus point. But what I would like to see us be able to do is capitalize on some of those big plays with touchdowns in the red zone rather than field goals. Our touchdown scoring percentage in the red zone is not where we want it to be, and so that's just a constant source of emphasis, or a constant point of emphasis for us as we move forward.
Coach, with the 4-game win streak, I know you guys like to go week by week evaluating, but 2 wins on the road, 2 wins at home. What would you say has been a key to this success both at home and on the road during this streak?
Not thinking about anything but the game right in front of us, and that's what we will continue to do.
You talked early in the season when the team struggled a little about the lack of consistency kind of holding you back. Are you doing something consistently well right now that's leading to this success?
Yeah, we're staying in the moment, And I listen, I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. I really believe that that's the key to success, is you go out every single day and you attack that day and you try to be the best that you can on that day. And if you stack those kinds of days going into the game on Saturday, you play with more confidence. You have more certainty in what you're doing. And when you play with certainty, you can play with speed and violence, and you're going to make plays. And so it's just so important for us to just stay like, hey, where am I right now, and how can I be the best I can be right now? Now, we have a long-term plan, don't get me wrong, but the emphasis is always on the right now, right here.
Is there a difference between consistency and momentum?
I don't know. I mean, I've never thought of that, so I don't think I can give you a snap answer. I like consistency. I would say if I wanted to give you a snap answer, it would be consistency may lead to momentum,
You've had 12 sacks in the last 2 games. Are you blitzing more, or is the system just doing a better job of getting to the quarterback now?
No, we're not blitzing anymore. We've had good pressure all year. So there's nothing new. Nothing new. I mean, I don't think there's any difference now in terms of our consistency getting to the quarterback than there was in game 1.
Can you feel confidence continuing to build in the locker room as this keeps rolling?
You say that again?
Can you feel confidence continue to build in the locker room as you guys continue to ramp up?
Confidence comes from the work you do every single day, and that's where it comes from. And so we just focus on being great today. And if we're great today and we're a little better tomorrow, then hopefully, you see confidence build.
Can it help the red zone success when all of a sudden you have somebody like Juice who's got good size, starting to carve out a bigger role for himself?
For sure. Yeah, I think so. It's, he's a tough guy to defend because it is, kind of in between size, and how you're going to treat him as a tight end or shoot, we put him in the backfield, as you saw, or is he a wide out? You know, is he going to be in the core? Is he going to be out of the core? Is he going to be number 1, number 2, number 3? And if we can get him the ball and he can use his size and his length, that's something that's always going to be important for us. You know, the more guys that show up in the pass game as threats, then the more stress it takes off of a guy like Skylar, you know, and it puts some stress on a defense. So they've got to defend more than just one player. And obviously it gives Joe more targets to throw to.
What's the biggest way you've seen Joe grow this season, knowing he clearly looks more comfortable out there?
Repetitions in a system with a smart player like Joe create confidence. And it's once again, it's in the work he does every day. I mean, Joe's a relentless worker. He's always around here. He's always studying film. He's always in there with Coach Tracy. He's always trying to find a better way. He practices with intent and purpose. He doesn't ever feel like he's, you know, got it. And that's what you want out of players, you know, guys that are constantly striving to be better. And so when you couple that attitude with the repetitions that he's now gotten in this offense and the trust that he has in his offensive line and the guys that he's handing off to and the guys that he's throwing to, you see a player that's playing at a high level.
Coach, piggybacking off of that,
What's that?
Just piggybacking off of that, just what does Joe bring to the locker room, leadership-wise, being one of the more experienced players on your roster?
Joe's a quiet leader. Joe's a leader by example, which I think is the best leader. You know, he demonstrates every single day what a pro looks like, you know, what a winner looks like, how a pro prepares, how a winner prepares, how a pro thinks, how a winner thinks, how a winner and a pro practice. He does that every single day. So the example that he sets, given the success that he's, you know, having right now, is just a great thing for others to try to mimic, you know, emulate. And that's the strength of his leadership.
What makes a wide receiver productive, and what kind of traits does Skylar have that's making him so productive?
I think there's a lot of things. Number one is catch the football, you know, create separation, understand coverages and concepts so you know where the openings are going to be, understanding coverages, you know, and then I think having concepts that are designed to get you open. And if you're not open, having a quarterback that knows how to read progressions and get it somewhere else. You know, the better we can run the ball and the more guys that we can get involved in the passing game, the better it's going to end up being for all of us, Skylar included.
The run beaten with Malachi on the field.
Who?
Can you talk about his development since he came last year and the stability he gives you in the safety spot? He missed his overtime losses.
Malachi McLean? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, he's a solid player. You know, he's a good player for us. He's tough and he's smart and he's physical. And, yeah, I mean, I didn't know that, so it's hard for me to address that.
With the way that your offense is playing right now, how does that impact you and your coaching staff? Does it allow you to...
Say that, I'm sorry, start again. I was still thinking about your question. I was trying to get you an answer. What's that? Okay.
With the way your offense is playing right now, does that do something for your coaching staff, or you and your coaching staff? Does it allow you to be more aggressive in different places? Does it allow, on both sides of the ball, to really continue to ramp up the pressure, knowing that your offense is able to put up points the way it has?
Look, we just do it one way every week. You know what I mean? Like, we just attack every week. We look for ways every week to get guys in positions where they're going to maximize what they do best, whether it's offense or defense. You know, we might play games a little bit differently depending on the rhythm of the game, the momentum of the game. But, you know, I don't think we ever have walked in and said, well, now that we're playing good on offense, let's emphasize something else. You just emphasize the things that are working for you. And now you tweak things every week, right? I mean, you have to tweak things. You don't want to become predictable. I've said this several times, and I think it was really demonstrated on Saturday, is that balance to me, and balance can mean whatever anyone else wants it to mean to them. I don't really care. But what it means to me is that it's not that you run it 50% of the time and you throw it 50% of the time. It means that if you have to throw the ball to win a game, you're able to do it effectively. And if you get in a game and you have to run it to win the game, you can do that effectively. And I think what you saw on Saturday was, you know, a team that made the adjustment pretty early in the game to the fact that we needed to throw the ball to win the game. And so that's the kind of adjustments that we make, rather than, you know, hey, we've got something going. I know I can't emphasize it enough. Like, we just stay with the things that are working for us, and we emphasize the things that we believe in as a program, as an organization.
You talk about staying with stuff like that. Can an offensive coordinator get into a rhythm of sorts, and how much growth have you seen in Gordon?
Well, Gordy's brilliant. You know, Gordy might not look like your prototypical offensive coordinators are looking these days, with the scruffy beards and the hats pulled down and the T-shirts on with the sleeves rolled up, you know, and the shirt untucked and all that. There's this kind of stereotype of what an offensive coordinator looks like if you look at the television. But Gordy's brilliant. You know, everyone thinks, well, he's an offensive line coach. What's he going to know about the pass game? Well, you know, just look at what we've been able to accomplish so far in the pass game. Rhythm comes from players making plays. You know, an offensive coordinator's job, along with the staff, is to put players in position where you can maximize their abilities and minimize their deficiencies, and he does a good job of that. And then the players go out and make plays, and then it looks like the coordinator's in a rhythm.
Did you see something in him, or had you just had so many conversations with him that you knew he was the guy to run this offense, and that the pass game could be elevated?
Oh, I knew without a doubt. I mean, there was never even a hesitation. As soon as Nick Charlton decided to leave, it was immediately decided. It was actually when Nick started to talk to Cleveland, and of course was going to communicating with him and thought it might be an option. Gordy was already alert to the fact that, hey, if he leaves, you're the guy. There was never a question for me, because I think he's brilliant. I think he's incredibly smart. I think he's incredibly hardworking. I think he's got great leadership skills. He cares desperately. You know, he is a absolute rising superstar in the coaching profession. I mean, I think he's fantastic. He's as good as I've been around. Okay. All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, Coach.